Good evening and welcome to PRTv Spurs and Paxton Road TV. Welcome to the preview show. I know it's a transfer deadline day. There's not much to talk about. However, we will talk about the transfers in and out tomorrow evening after the reaction show. But, like I said, it's the preview show. Burnley versus Tottenham Hotspur Football Club tomorrow at 3 p.m. Hello and welcome back. If you've not already subscribed to PRTv Spurs, make sure you smash that like button and give us a follow. We are going to be moving over there slowly but surely, so please make sure you do that. Also, if you're watching on Paxton Road TV, make sure you do that as well, but eventually we'll be moving over. So, Burnley versus Tottenham Hotspur Football Club tomorrow, 3 p.m. kickoff. Let's do the preview show and let's introduce my guest, Sean, Tottenham to Fossey, 61. Good evening, Sean. How are you?
I am fine. I'm a little sore from Tuesday night, but it's a bump in the road, and we need to move on.
What, something happened on Tuesday night? My memory is like a sieve, mate. I'm like a Men in Black. Somebody just come over to me and just put that thing over my face and said, "Shoot." Something happened on Tuesday? No idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No idea. Right. So, Burnley, back to the Premiership. Burnley at Turf Moor tomorrow at 3 p.m. What you saying? What you saying? I know we've had a transfer window today that's closing, and as per usual, I don't know, unless something miracle, as Hot Chocolate said. If they believe in miracles, then something's going to happen. But more than likely, we're not going to be getting any centre-backs in. Maybe one Brennan Johnson. I don't know whether you can call him. Outgoings is my problem, and it's going to be our problem, and it's going to be our problem for many years to come. So we'll discuss that tomorrow, Sean, or after the reaction show, because we can do the reaction and the transfer review, because obviously people might have their say on it depending on the result tomorrow at Turf Moor. How do you think the players, after that performance the other day, do you think will be mood-wise, and Postecoglou's mood-wise? What will it be for tomorrow's game?
I think, if anything, it will probably inspire them. Based on Ange's record up here in Celtic, he tended to react quite strongly to setbacks, and he will consider that a setback. I do think it was on him, but he will. We'll go back to the Basuma, Maddison, and Sarr midfield. I would imagine we'll have the full strength defence, and hopefully Richie with his goal on Tuesday will find the net tomorrow. Turf Moor has always traditionally been a hard place to get points from. I was at the famous Pochettino meltdown game. And then obviously there was the Conte meltdown game as well. But again, Burnley are a different animal now under Company. They're trying to play football. However, they've had a pretty tough start. They've tried to play a pretty football, but the Man City dealt with them more than comfortably. And obviously they missed a game because I think they were due to play Luton, and Luton's game wasn't available. So I think they've had 2 defeats, have they not?
Yeah, 2 defeats. We'll discuss that as we move along. I agree with you in terms of that. They absolutely roller coastered the Championship last season, played some phenomenal football under Company, and steamrolled that Championship to get into the Prem. But like every season, the Championship compared to the Premier League, you don't get no mercy. As Duffy said, there's no mercy at all. You got to come in, you got to hit the ground running, and if you don't, no matter who you got as manager, you're going to find it difficult. very difficult. And it seems like Burnley have not got off to the best of starts. But they've got a good manager. He's learned his trade under Pep. So who knows? But it's not going to happen tomorrow. So let's hope after tomorrow they can have a bit of form or whatever. But they can concentrate on the form and everything after tomorrow, on goal scoring after tomorrow. Just want to welcome Kevin Murray, Dino Dinosaur, and everybody else that's in the comment section. Please continue your comments. We will get to you as soon as we can. Moving on then, Sean. Tomorrow, let me just take this banner off. Like I said, Burnley versus Spurs at Turf Moor. 3 p.m. kickoff again. So let's have a look at the season so far, which is not much. Oh, well, not so far, but the head-to-head versus Burnley. Played 21 times, Sean.
Mm-hmm.
Burnley won 4 at Turf Moor. 4 in total. Spurs have won 13 in total. Their 4 wins, believe it or not, are at Turf Moor. We've won 4 at Turf Moor. And then at Tottenham Hotspur / White Hart Lane, we've won 9. They haven't won any at all. And 4 draws. I know Sam's not here today, and I always ask Sam the question. So now I'm going to ask you the question, Sean. 21 times. Their 4 games at home. We've won 4 away. Can we read anything into this?
Well, I think as I've already alluded to, this is a different Burnley. You know, before we would, be up against. You know what you got with Burnley, as I used to say. You know, it was a low block. It was a hit us on set pieces or opportunities. I mean, I'd be hard pushed to name a Burnley player this season. All the players that I associate with them: Nick Pope, Ben Mee. McNeil, they've all moved on, so I don't really know who's in their squad. I know that they've recruited a few people in the last wee while.
Jay Rodriguez is still there.
Oh yeah, Jay Rodriguez. Okay,
Nathan Redmond's now there. Aaron Ramsey's gone from Villa, I think. So
yeah, I mean it's so I don't know what sort of team it'll be. I know company will want them to play on the front foot, but I do feel that our midfield is more than a match for most of the Premier League. With possibly the exceptions of the Cities, the Arsenals, and maybe Liverpool now. I don't know. Anyway, well, it's going to be. I'm fairly confident that we're going to take the points away from them. But we mustn't be complacent, as ever. You can be, a dodgy free kick or a deflected shot away from being defeated in any game in the Premier League.
And it's like you said, and it's like the stats say here. They've in 21 games they've won 4, and all 4 have been at Turf Moor. So obviously they're quite comfortable playing Spurs at Turf Moor. But again, we're in the Vincent Company. It's a different. I know you alluded to it. It was not long ball game before with them lot, and they always done us on that. But under Vincent Company now, they're actually trying to play football and that, and maybe that's their downfall. Where certain teams you can't come up against that. The last 2 games I've seen of theirs, they've been done big time on the counter attacks and speed and pace. So it's been an interesting one. They've won 4, we've won 4. So it's going to be intriguing. Right. Previous meetings then, Sean. 26th of October 2020 at Turf Moor. We won 1-0. 2021 February at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We won 4-0. Isn't that the Son goal, the 4-0?
I think that's the Son goals in that one, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. 27th of October 2021. Burnley 0, Spurs 1 at Turf Moor. 23rd of February 2022. Burnley 1, Spurs 0, Turf Moor. And then 15th of May 2022. Burnley 1-0, Tottenham Hotspur 1 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So, last 5 games, we've won 4. They've lost 1. in terms of head to head, that just seems like it's going to be a one-way conclusion there, or is it?
I mean, if we all had a crystal ball, we'd be cashing in at William Hill's or Betfred every Saturday. Given the football that we've served up in the league this season, I think we're more than a match for Burnley. Son likes this fixture. I seem to remember him scoring one of those 1-0 wins away, and also obviously scored his wonder goal at our stadium back in 21. So I think we've got enough in the tank to beat Burnley. It's going to be a tough game, I mean, it won't be easy, but as long as we don't do anything rash, our defence holds out as it has been doing since certainly since the second game, we'll be fine, and I mean I'll definitely take another 2-0 win, keep racking up that goal difference, and keep clean sheets on.
Yeah, what I'm looking at here, right, Sean, if you look at the last 5 games, Burnley have failed. They've scored 1 against us at Turf Moor, and they haven't scored any at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So in 5 games, they've scored 1 goal against us. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just noticed that now. That's alarming, isn't it, for them? The fact that in 5 games they've only scored 1 goal. That's mass madness. And that 1 goal was last season. Season before.
Yeah, I mean, but remember then we were a different animal too.
Yeah.
We were a defensive transition team under Mourinho, under Nuno, under Conte, so we were able to be defensive and keep the ball out every now and then. It just wasn't sustainable over a season, as we found out last season. Obviously, that's another thing we have to take into account there. That they've had a season in the Championship to replenish and change and under new management, and it will. I don't really like to go on previous fixtures because I see sequences and records are there just to be broken. You know what I mean? So
of course.
So it's
how many times did we do preview shows last season where we looked at these stats and it was a banker, it was a given, and then when we was doing the reaction show, we was like egg on our faces because
just an egg. I think we had we had omelets and scrambled eggs on our face for most of last season.
Didn't we was all on egg diets last season, man. Absolutely, yeah. So yes, they've not beaten us in 5. They've only scored 1 goal, but they've got a new manager, they've got a new way of playing. We've got a new manager, we've got new players, new way of playing. It'll be an interesting one tomorrow. It'll be interesting. So like you alluded before as well, let's have a look at current games. They got beat 3-1 by Aston Villa. Opening game of the season, we drew 2-2 against Brentford. They then had a game at Luton, which was cancelled, obviously, for reasons, safety. We beat Man United 2-0. They then got beat convincingly by Manchester City 3-0. And we beat Bournemouth 2-0 at the Vitality Stadium. Hence, they've played 2, lost 2. We've won 2, drawn 1. As it stands now, Sean, with I know we don't look at the table until 10 games in, but I have to do it anyway. Position 3, they're 18th. We've won 2, they haven't won. We've drawn 1, they haven't. They've lost 2, we haven't lost any. We're scoring 2 goals per match. They're scoring 0.5. They're conceding average goal 3, both games 3. We're 0.67. 2 clean sheets for us. Their chances created are 0.5. We're creating 2.33. And then obviously the biggest wins and the worst defeat. So looking at that, Sean, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 2 important ones here for me is this one. We're creating chances, 2.33 chances per match. whereas they're only creating 0.5. And then obviously the goals conceded, they're conceding 3 both games. We're doing 0.67. So going into tomorrow's game, do you think Vincent Kompany is now going to be looking at that, thinking, do you know what, we need to now start sewing up our defence and start creating more chances? Because they've played Villa, they've played Man City, and now they've got Spurs under a resurging Ange Postecoglou and playing well. Is there alarm bells for them tomorrow?
When they've got 35 games after tomorrow, I don't think there's alarm bells as such. I think they're still trying to adjust to the pace and the difficulties posed by Premier League opposition. I mean, that's a pretty tough start to the season. I thought our schedule was pretty tough. You know, away to Brentford with their excellent home record, home to Man United, you know, away to Bournemouth who can, you know, frustrate. But no, given what I think it was, did they not actually play City on the opening day of their season? I think they played that Friday night game, their first game of the season, wasn't it?
City was the Friday night.
Yes. It's City, then Villa. And, you know, Villa are a different animal this year. I mean, you know, Emery's really, you know, worked on his squad. He's you know, they're a good team. I mean, I know they got their backsides handed to them at Newcastle, but they had extenuating circumstances when you lose your captain and your prime defender after about 20 minutes. But yeah, I mean, they've got a tough draw, you know. But I want us to follow City and Villa in taking the points away from them tomorrow.
100%. 100%.
Because, you know, it's an international break coming up, and you know, we don't want, you know, you don't want to go into an international break on the back of a bad result, you know, particularly given the games that we come back to, you know. So that's another story, you know. Yeah,
that's something else we'll talk about. Yeah, that's it. Good evening to Dino Dinosaur. Good evening, panel. We got the new Delhi with legs, which is good. Decky will soon stop smiling, but the centre backup situation was the bigger problem, and we will discuss that because not a lot of Spurs fans are going to be happy when the transfer window shuts very soon. Kevin Murray, good evening. Why Sam's not here, but why didn't we sign that fatty lad? He's awesome, fantastic striker. Mr. Bolt there. What's your thoughts on the Johnson fella? Kevin, we'll talk about Fatty and we'll also talk about Johnson if it happens tomorrow after the reaction show. I'm sure Sean's got his say on that and everything else.
Yeah, I mean, briefly, Kevin, I would say I'm not too concerned about losing out to Fatty. No. You know, he was not available full time. He's always injured, Sean. He's got injury problems. He was not available full time. He's going to be a 1-season trophy signing, and you know, I just you know, it's a big difference from La Liga to the Premier League. So I'm not too concerned about Fatty, you know. So that's just my quick thoughts.
Absolutely. And as Rehan's saying here as well, good thing we didn't get Fatty gets injured too much. Much preferred Johnson.
Well, as of yet, we haven't got Johnson. It's not confirmed, is it?
No, I think he just prefers Johnson, but if it comes in. But I know he's having his medical as far as I last saw it about 25 minutes, 30 minutes ago. Dino, so I think Richie has until January to come good. I wonder if Levy's master plan is Tony. But do you know what? Tony's going to be rusty, and I'm assuming there'll be other clubs as well that are going to come in for him. But
do you know? I mean, Dino, whatever. Sorry if I pronounced it incorrectly, but you've made a massive assumption there that our chief executive, our chairman, our owner has a master plan at anything. I mean, you know, I mean, I've already called it, I think, on Twitter. This has been a disaster of a window because it's left a very uneven squad and some dangerous, poisonous individuals still in the dressing room as well when we talk here at 7:25. But we'll talk about that tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. So going back to the game tomorrow. Team lineup. I saw the Postecoglou interview this afternoon, press conference, and he was asked a question, obviously, injuries after the game on Tuesday, and he said everybody that didn't play or was on the bench or wherever, everyone's fit. The only player that's not available tomorrow will be GLC. So my predicted team, and I think it will be business back to normal. Tuesday was just a blip in terms of, in his words, I need to see with some of these players what they like. But tomorrow I'm going with Sanchez, Vicario back in goal, Poro right back, Destiny Odeji, Romero, Van de Ven.
Don't you mean Destiny best left back in the world, Udogi?
No, I mean Destiny Odeji, the best fucking left back in the world. Emphasize the word, yeah.
Okay, my friend.
Probably going to be the best midfielder in the world. Basuma, Papasaw in a few years' time. James Maddison. Kulusevski only gets in for me because he scored last week. Captain Marvel, Son, and Richarlison.
The Brazilian pigeon.
The Brazilian pigeon. Obviously, he's going to go with him because we haven't bought a striker. So, yeah. On paper, do you think this is going to be the team?
It's clear this is our strongest lineup currently.
Yeah.
You know, I'd be hard pushed to change any of those teams. I'm looking at our two African boys, and when they go to the AFCON, it will be a bit of a miss. But by then, hopefully, Bentancur's available, and I think we've got cover in Skip and possibly even Gio. So I think we'll be fine. But it is that is a little cloud on the horizon for January, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I think the front three pick themselves, and they're obviously misfunctioning at the moment, but hopefully Kulu will take something from scoring last week. Son liked a goal against Burnley, a good place to break your duck, and maybe Richarlison will feel better after notching against Fulham, even if it was slightly fortuitous circumstances when they were down to 10 men. But
yeah, I think this team picks itself, doesn't it? I think this team is the team that's going to be picked, like you said, week in, week out, unless somebody gets injured or whatever other circumstances. But this team itself is going to be the team.
Yeah, I think we'll need to keep an eye on yellow and red cards as well. Because I mean, that will become a problem, eventually.
Yeah, I mean the only change that I would perceive if it was ever going to happen is probably Son to come in the middle and maybe Perisic to come out on the left. But as it stands, nah. Mate, I agree with what you're saying with him. He's just going to be another Lucas Moura. He's Brian Gill. He's just too lightweight, and people are saying yeah. But then look what people said about GLC as well and that. But I think as it speaks, he doesn't change it. He does not change it. I think he sticks with this because this team so far played 3 in the league. They've scored. They've won the games, bar one where they drew. Why would you change it? And I think after Tuesday's performance as well and the result, Postecoglou is not going to take a gamble. He's going to go with what he knows, what works, what has worked. And then, like you said, we've got an international break coming up as well. You don't want to be losing on just before an international break because then you've got a week or 2 weeks to sit on it, think about it. You're going to lose some of these players, so you can't practice it. So there's no better way then to actually win the game tomorrow. Happy days. You're going to be sitting wherever you're sitting in the table. Players going to be full of confidence, and we move on. Kevin Murray saying here, you're right, Sid. Tony is not going to be fit. Tony's not going to be fit. No matter who goes in for him in January, it's going to be a massive gamble. Yes, he's a good player, but he ain't going to be fit. He ain't not going to be fit. So it'll be very interesting. It'll be very interesting indeed. So Sean, you think that is going to be what it is, yeah? No changes, no one's going to come in. I've lost.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's all right. I can't make a case for anyone else. I mean, that to me picks itself. You know, Maddison's absolutely balling it. So does Basuma. The defense, the two defenders look like they've played with each other for 3 years, let alone 3 matches.
yeah.
And you know, inverted fullbacks, you couldn't pick a better pair, I don't think. I'm really glad that Pedro's stepped up and, you know, has become you know, really adept at that thing. So yeah, I'm happy, more than happy.
You know what, I agree. You just don't change what's going on, and it's going to be a tough game going to Turf Moor tomorrow because it's a small, compact ground. The fans will be on the case. Fans will be on it. Obviously, Vincent Company will get them all drilled up as well because they've lost 2 on the bounce. But there's nothing for us to fear because Tuesday was a blip. 9 changes. This is going to be the same team now that's, you know, back to business. So I think it'll be an interesting game. It'll just, you know, we just need to get the 3 points. What's Rehan saying here? Do you guys think we are in the mud in January because of AFCON, as our 2 main midfielders will be gone? And Dinosaur sums that up by saying Son also leaves in January. This is what I was saying, yeah. And Rehan's comment, Sean, as well, I want you to comment on it. We've got a problem in January because we're going to lose Saw, we're going to lose Bissouma, and then we're going to lose Son. Who are you going to bring in? Side to side Højbjerg, that doesn't want to go anywhere because everything's agreed, but I don't want to leave. And Skip. I mean, if you're going to rely on Skip and Son, Skip and Højbjerg to compensate for Saw and Bissouma, we've got major problems. Yes, Bentancur's going to come back, but is he going to be the Bentancur that left before? Is he going to be the same Bentancur before his injury? I personally don't think so, because an ACL is a massive injury. Yes, I know you keep saying, Sean, that the technology out there, it brings the players back quickly, but in that position where he plays, I mean, you've said it last couple of weeks where Bissouma and who was it? Richarlison and them lot were getting kicked left, right, and centre. Maddison. He's not. Is that going to be a problem for us in January?
Well, there is another factor in it, which also kicks in at that time, is that there is a winter break this season as well. So yeah, I think there will be time for rest. I think Bentancur's going to be back much sooner.
September.
Yeah. So, you know, we'll know by then whether there's an issue. And of course, January there's a new window. So if there's you know, players need to be brought in, it will be in dribs and drabs. Son in the Asia Cup, yeah, it could be an issue. We haven't got a like for like player, but it would be good to have someone who could go around the outside, which is not Sonny's thing. He's not a 1v1 winger.
Yeah.
Whereas Kulu can do it, he can only do it by cutting inside. He can't do it by going down the outside, and I think that's a bit of an issue for us. But no, I think we've got cover. Yeah.
We've got cover, but is it really cover that's gonna, you know, see us through? I personally don't trust them. I wouldn't trust the cover that we've got. Bob Bentancur, because Bassouma and Saab and maybe Son going to be big players to miss, especially Bassouma. I don't trust Højbjerg to do that job at all.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to discount Højbjerg because he ran out on me on Tuesday night, as far as I'm concerned.
Exactly.
He didn't bother to turn up for a penalty shootout, and he's taken penalty shootouts. He's taken penalties and shootouts before, so he was hiding. I have a lot more faith than many in the Spurs fan base about Skippy, to be honest. I think he's got good box to box energy. He needs to work on his press resistance, but I think we can be fine. You know, we're not going to win the league. You know, we're not going to, you know, I mean, we've missed a big opportunity going out of a cup at the end, before the end of August. Happy September, everyone, today. You know, we'll have the FA Cup to contend with. Hopefully, we'll get a kinder draw than we got for this competition. But
yeah, this is it.
You know, let's you know, again, the players will be much more into the system. At the minute, we're only scratching the surface. Even Andrew's saying that, you know, it needs to be second nature. And at the minute, he feels that they're forcing it a bit. They're not playing fluently as he would like. And I don't see the parallels with his Celtic team from up here, where, you know, players just naturally knew where their teammates were and passed to the right place. You know. Yeah.
So, the moment you've been waiting for, obviously not. Prediction for tomorrow, my friend?
I think we will win 2-1.
2-1. Okay. 2-1 to Spurs. Predictions in the comment section, please, for tomorrow's game. I personally think if City scored 3, Aston Villa scored 3, I don't see why we can't score 3 with the way we've been playing this season. We've created a lot more. And I think Burnley will be that kind of team where if they let us create chances, we will create plenty of chances. And I think we'll score quite a few. And I'm going with a 3-0 to Spurs, because they've only scored 1 against us in the last 5. They've only scored 1 goal. That was against Man City, believe it or not. So I think we should be going in there full of confidence. And I think a comfortable 3-0 to Spurs. Comfortable 3-0. So that's my prediction for tomorrow. Right, Sean, that's the Burnley preview done and dusted. You available tomorrow to do the reaction show?
I will be, yes. I'll hopefully we'll, as you say, we'll be reporting on the Spurs win, whether it's your 3-0 or my 2-1. I don't care. I just want us to go into the international break with, you know, a points level which I'm really, you know, is the best start I could imagine. I mean, I was really concerned when I saw our fixture list that, you know, we wouldn't pick up anything at Brentford. Manchester United would come and do what Manchester United do and sporty win at our place. And then we've gone to Bournemouth, and, you know, we've got the 3 points there as well, which is not a given. So yeah, we're doing very well. I'm more than happy with our league form. Still smarting a bit about Tuesday night, but onwards, upwards, and I'm available tomorrow.
Cool.
I'm gonna watch the game.
Cool. Thank you very much, Sean, for joining me. Thank you very much, everyone in the comment section. Thank you for joining us, whether you're watching on Paxton Road TV Spurs, Paxton Road TV, or PRTv Spurs. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you get yourself over to PRTv Spurs and smash that follow button and subscribe to the channel. It's free. We're not asking for anything. We're just asking you to press the button. Join us every week for all the shows that we do. And there's plenty more shows to come. So hope you have a great Friday evening. Hope you have a great Saturday. 3 o'clock kickoff tomorrow. Don't forget, wherever you're watching the game, come back straight after the game for live reaction. Sam will be back as well tomorrow, and hopefully we might have Pav as well. Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
More developed,